Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Emerald Mystery Radio. I'm Sky, and I actually don't know what playlist this video is going to go under because this is more like an experience type of video and an opinionated type of video. So, today I want to talk about big families and responsibilities. I have seen so many videos across tons of different platforms of mothers who have children and they love their baby, they love them so much and they love the stage of when a baby is a baby. But as they, like a newborn baby, but as they get out of that stage and they grow, they're like, okay, well, the excitement of the newborn or the excitement of that part of my life, okay, I want to feel it again, so let me go have another baby. And the same thing happens, let me go have another baby, let me go have another baby. And the responsibility from what I'm seeing falls onto the older siblings of the big family. And in a lot of different interviews, the parents really don't see a problem with it. They view it as, okay, well, you're a part of this family, you're gonna carry your weight. You're a part of this family, you're gonna help out. You're a part of this family, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And speaking from personal experience, that is one of the worst things that you could do to your older children. Force them into a role that in many ways robs them of their childhood and forces them to become a parent when they're not ready to become a parent. And I'm speaking from my personal family dynamic and also being a mother now myself and seeing that, okay, that whole thing is not even appropriate. I don't think that's appropriate because as kids, they're developing their personalities. They're, having all this energy. They're having all these things they want to do. They're having all these hobbies, these interests. They're their own person. They're making and creating their own ways of life. Basically being an individual. And if you take that away, that can stagnate them in a lot of different ways. So, for example, my family dynamic that I had growing up, it was very, very closely related to some, I'm not going to say all, because there are some families who have dynamics like that where they push the responsibilities of parenthood onto their eldest children or their older children. And then there are other families who take the full responsibility of being a parent and understand that I had this child. This child is my responsibility and it is not your responsibility. So I got this covered. You go ahead and you enjoy your childhood. I'm going to give you the time you need for development. I'm going to give you the support that you need. I'm going to be here for you. It's a split there. So, like I was saying, growing up in my family dynamic, it was more towards the pushing parenthood onto the oldest siblings. And I don't really want to get into a lot of details about that at the moment. But just to give you a scope of things, there was a lot of things my parental figure was doing at the time when our younger siblings or the younger individuals of our family came into the picture. So there was a lot of times where I would be back and forth changing diapers at 9, 10 years old, making bottles 3, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then having to go to school, then coming home from school, still having to help out with the house, still having to do a lot of different things. Now, with having experienced that, I did miss out on a lot of crucial points in my childhood and my teenage years because it was so focused on taking care of the family. I have to take care of the family. I have to carry all this stuff on my back. I have to support this person. I have to support that person. I have to be the emotional support for all of these people, do all of these things, go to school, have good grades. It was so much. It was a lot at one time. And nobody was listening to me. Nobody was hearing me. Also, going to school and having to deal with other kids, other teenagers, other bullying issues that I was experiencing, just so many different things in my world, in my head, in my brain, all of this pressure building up, building up, building up. And it came like waves just out. And there was a lot of stuff that I dealt with, um, that I had to cope with, that I had to deal with, and I'm still dealing with to this day. This is why one of my big things is you are not alone, and everything is going to be okay, and everything is going to work itself out in the end. But when you are looking at the aspects of big families, we really have to take away the stigma of eldest child taking on all of these responsibilities. And I can now speak in this topic because I myself am now a mother. So I know if I go ahead and have more children, that responsibility is not going to fall on my son. It's going to be my responsibility. It doesn't matter if you are taking in other children from different family members of your family or however you want to call it. That when you choose to take in those children, that is a choice that you are independently making to do. If the eldest siblings can help out, if they want to help out, that's great, that's good. But in no way, shape, or form am I gonna force it or make it mandatory to the point where my eldest is missing out on attention, is missing out on important moments of childhood, teenagehood, however you want to call it, because in my eyes, that's not right. That's something that's not right at all. Jumping back to my childhood or my family dynamic growing up, when I did get that breath of fresh air, which was to go over to my grandmother's house at the time, when I did get that moment of break, I slept the entire time. That is how bad it was. Like there was options to go different places and do different things, but there would be weekends or or how breaks where it was so bad. I would get picked up from school, or I would be going to my grandmother's house, get to my grandmother's house, and crash out completely. Completely. I would wake up at like 11 o'clock at night, like, wow, I missed the entire day. I missed the entire weekend just sleeping. And then I had to wake up 2 days of rest. Well, technically, like one day, because Friday you still go to school. And then Sunday you go back home. So technically, like one day of mental freeness just to go back into a whole world of chaos again. So, like I was saying, I don't know what playlist this video is gonna go on, but I really felt like this is so important. Um, if you're thinking about expanding your family, make sure you understand that what you're doing is your responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility except for you and your partners. That's a whole thing in itself. um and then the emotions that can come with it. Like, another issue that I had was being the emotional support for a lot of different members of my family, along with everything else that I was dealing with, because at the time I was the calm-minded one, or the one that appeared to be calm because I had to. I had to. So I had to be that it's going to be okay, it's going to be all right, it's everything's going to get better. But when it came down to it, I really didn't have that much support on my own, because so many different things was going on at the time, if that makes sense. So just let's erase this stigma of the eldest child. And I see so many videos of memes, or however you want to call it, where the eldest child doesn't need nothing to be appreciative. The middle child just needs this little bit, and then the youngest child needs all of this stuff. I don't really like those types of videos because like like I said, I've experienced it, and it's so demeaning, if that's the correct word. It's so like it can take confidence. It can take, so many things, and then people look at those videos and they're like, ha ha ha, it's so funny. But look at the things that the eldest child had to go through. Look at the things that has gotten taken away from their childhood, from their youth, and the things that they have sacrificed because their parent didn't want to be responsible for a life that they created like they should have been. So I'm sorry if this is coming off angry, like in an aggressive way, but man, it's just, I think it's time to put that way of thinking to rest. um, I think it's time to really get rid of that way of thinking and open up the realms of, and I know it can be difficult at times, but at least try to make time for everyone. Try to be the actual strong parental figure in all of your children's lives. They don't have to have the best things. They don't have to have the most expensive gifts. They don't have to have all of these luxurious things. It could just be, just sit down and to give full undivided attention to that child, to let them know, I hear you, your wants are being heard, being considered, and we're going to find a way to work it. We're going to find a way to make it possible. You are important, you are valued. And yeah, it's just, it could be that simple. So like I said, I don't know what playlist this is going to go under, but I felt like this is a very important topic, and if you can relate to this, it does get better, and everything is going to continue to get better. And I know that we can be working through these things for the rest of our lives because of so much that we've missed, because of so many days and years that have passed that we had to be the strong one, where emotion could be viewed as weak because of how, like, the position that we had to play in our family dynamic that we had. But it does get better. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, no, I'm not doing this. I'm just not doing it anymore. That is okay. That's realistic. Okay. That's not something that's unimaginable or anything like that. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out. And until next time, stay natural.